Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is TamezTech and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be checking out Shadow Dragonair in the lead. This Pokemon used to be really popular back in the day. It was really oppressive. You could practically two-shield through every realistic lead matchup back then. So now with Dragon Breath's new pacing and like energy changes, the playstyle for this Pokemon does change quite a bit. There's not a lot of things you can farm all the way down, although you still have a little bit of fast move pressure. It's definitely a different Pokemon and a different playstyle. We're going to check it out with a Corsola safe swap and Cradily in the back. And we'll get to see what we can do in these sets. This isn't really like an ELO climbing team. We were just kind of running, you know, what chat wanted to see and all that. Yeah, we got our first lead here. We actually have a Gligar lead, which is definitely a strange pick. I should be able to outpace the Aqua Tails here, and honestly, if they catch, I don't really mind. I have Corsola as an answer to this thing as well. We actually land the Aqua Tail, so I'm going to swap in Corsola. They're throwing energy here, so I figure they're probably on Night Slash, and they are. That's totally fine, though. They bring in an Ampharos, and we have two answers to this in the back, so I don't really mind if they come out with a lot of energy here, as long as I can force some shields. This thing does have Brutal Swing and Trailblaze as its conventional moveset, so I'm going to be guessing that's what my opponent is running here. Brutal Swing definitely knocks us out from there, and I'm debating what to bring in here. I'm going to bring in Cradily since that Gligar is low enough. But if they want to get their energy off with that Gligar, I could just force energy out with the Rock Tomb. They bring in Gligar and we're able to snipe them with Dragonair. At this point, the game looks really rough for my opponent. They do have Corviknight, which is definitely a core breaker for this team. Corviknight is just a little bit difficult to deal with a bunch of resisted fast moves, and then Corsola gets one shot by a payback, so it's just a little hit or miss. They actually don't farm up very much here, so I figure it's probably an air cutter, not an iron head or anything. And we're able to throw this Aqua Tail right away. We should be able to swap out now. Force the shield or the knockout with the Rock Tomb. They actually throw here, so I'm just gonna shield this, and yeah, they actually swap it at Ampharos. I was gonna overfarm a little bit against the Corv, but they swap it out Ampharos right away. And them shielding that Rock Tomb, I feel like it gives me the win con of just like two shield farm them all the way down, right? So I should be able to farm them down after shielding this move. They should be 2 away, so if 4 acids don't knock out, we're in trouble, but they do. So we have the Rock Tomb ready for the backline, and that's a GG. Pretty interesting team by my opponent, though. I can definitely respect that. On to the next game, though. We got Malamar in the lead, and this one's a little tricky. Malamar is pretty tanky. I don't want to be throwing wraps into this thing because, again, I just don't think I'm going to be able to farm it down afterwards before they get to a second move, of course. So I just want to land this Aqua Tail and maybe shield and farm them down, or force a shield with an Aqua Tail myself. So let's see what my opponent wants to do. I'm going to just throw this Aqua Tail right away. We get to it 1 turn before they get to their Foul Play / Superpower. So I'm going to overfarm here, and I think I'm just going to 2-shield farm this all the way down, right? This is pretty much what DRAGONAIR does. We just keep alignment. We figure out what to do after. They bring in Gastro. I should have wrapped here. I thought I could get to a second Aqua Tail, and I don't think I can, although maybe we can. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we actually do get there. So, very wise decision by past me. We get to the second Aqua Tail. This Gastro is practically gone. I'm debating what to bring in here because Water Pulse will still hurt my Cradily. And I feel like it might be a flyer in the back. So I'm going to bring in Corsola. It's actually a Dunsparce. I really shouldn't have thrown this energy. This kind of makes no sense because I'm burning the clock for my opponent, right? And that's definitely a misplay. But we bring in Cradily. We should be able to take on this Dunsparce pretty easily. The problem now is that the switch clocks are kind of misaligned, so my opponent can possibly snipe us after this move lands. And our move is really not, our clock is not going to be up. So yeah, there's the Gastro swap in. They do actually 1 Mud Slap and then throw, so really good counting by my opponent. They water pulse here, which should knock out, but maybe now I can just farm this Gastro all the way down. I mean, my Corsola is practically at full HP, right? So yeah, that water pulse, it does a lot of damage, but it doesn't put us into drill run range. So we can just go to the power gem and knock this Dunsparce out. Again, even if they had the drill run there, I think we still take the win. But I did make it a little bit more complicated than I had to for myself there. On to the next game, we got a Toadscruel lead. A little bit tricky. Thankfully, Aquatail is neutral here, and we can throw it a lot earlier than they can throw their first move. This thing usually runs Seed Bomb and Wrap, so they're probably going to want to Wrap and farm us all the way down. Of course, I'm going to shield this move. I feel like DRAGONAIR is the most damaging Pokemon, but I'm not going to shield that. That's crazy. I guess we're playing the zeros here. I wouldn't mind coming in with Corsola and getting a farm down. It's not like they're going to Wrap us, right? So we bring in Corsola. We do have a shield advantage here. They're just going to have to go for Seed Bombs or Earth Power if they have that. Okay, no, they do have Seed Bombs. So they bring in Corsola now, and this is a little bit tricky, right? Because I don't want to kind of throw away my Cradily here. I should have swapped into Cradily here, though. I tried for a Nightshade catch. It doesn't really work out, but to be fair, that's what they're going to throw anyways. So we can bring in Cradily. Unfortunately, they have a lot of energy, so they can still outpace to the second. I'm going to have to shield this move. If Toadscruel comes in, I'm pretty sure we can acid them down. So I'm going to overfarm quite a bit here. We should be 4 away from another move. So we could throw on good timing against any 3-turn moves. And it's a Carbink in the back. So I'm just going to full send the Grass Knot here. Still trying to like kind of watch for a catch because they still have that low health Toadscruel back there. We land the Grass Knot, and at this point, my win con is to Rock Tomb, right? We watch for the catch. We call the catch. I should have Rock Tomb here. I don't know why I got so scared of like having it shielded or whatever. But if you notice, I still need 2 moves, right? So even though we Grass Knot to like get the full potential out of our damage or anything like that, I still need 2 moves to land into this Carbink, right? So if I would have Rock Tombed, I actually survived the Rock Throws to get to the second Nightshade, and we win that game. But unfortunately, I Grass Knotted. I got a little bit too scared there, and that loss is completely on me. On to the next lead, we got Shadow Marowak in the lead. Very, very strange lead. I don't think I've ever seen this lead before. People don't really run this lead. Enough with the sarcasm, though. We actually land the Aquatail, and my opponent throws a Mud Slap and then throws energy. So this Marowak is already knocked out because we sneaked the Astonish. And then they bring a Pangoro. I'm totally cool with this. This Pangoro is going to need 2 Nightshades to knock us out. I can throw 1 in the move here. And for some reason, my opponent makes a really strange misplay here. We do 3 in the move, and Pangoro just lets us get there. I don't know if they miscounted. I don't know if they don't know their Corsola counts. Corsola is 544. 5454. As you can see on the left side of the screen there. We actually sniped the Pangoro with DRAGONAIR, and there's an Umbreon in the back. So all that energy on Pangoro is gone. Umbreon in the back, just not going to be able to deal with all the Wrap debuffs, and that's a GG. We see another amazingly different lead in Bastiodon here. Thankfully, DRAGONAIR can put in a lot of work into this thing. I believe we win the 1s. I'm a little bit scared to throw away my DRAGONAIR there. I'm going to land an Aquatail, bring in Corsola. I don't want to go shields down too early against this thing. And surprisingly, my opponent is staying in like full. So I guess we're going to start throwing energy, just burn the clock back up. If we need to swap out of this matchup, we can. We throw some energy. Looks like my opponent is still staying in. They're still throwing energy. I can still tank this with Corsola and get to another Nightshade. I got to watch for a catch here if anything does happen. But Basti should be getting knocked out by this Nightshade. So do they want to shield or not? Okay, they don't. And we actually just we survived the next Smackdown. This is a little bit of a tricky Pokemon to see in the back. It is Marowak. We can bring in DRAGONAIR, do a few Dragon Breaths, and force a shield with the Aquatail more than likely. And now we can bring in Cradily. These Mud Slaps, though, it's going to be a lot of fast move pressure. I might not need to shield both, but I definitely should shield at least one. And it's a Torterra in the back. This is a very spicy pick, and it's also a very scary pick for us. So Bastiodon double slap, very creative from my opponent here. We land the Grass Knot though, and I do have to respect the Frenzy Plant. If it would be a Sand Tomb, we'd be kind of in trouble too, but just respecting the Frenzy Plant is pretty safe here. Marowak comes in, we just full send the Grass Knot, and I think my opponent's win con at this point is to call a bait, but we do not bait. So we land the Grass Knot, and that's a GG to my opponent right there. On to the next battle. We got Torterra in the lead now, and once again, this thing does have a lot more fast move pressure than we do now that Dragon Breath Spin reworked. They actually make an excellent catch onto Charjabug here, so I'm going to do 8 Dragon Breaths and catch on my own Corsola. And we get the catch. We actually catch an X-Scissor here, which should be resisted. So really decent stuff there. We catch this X-Scissor. We should be able to survive another move and force a shield or a knockout from this Charjabug. I always get confused with the timing from 3 turns into 4-turn move. So I throw 3 in the move, which is incorrect timing. But at the end of the day, if they no shield this, it doesn't really matter. We get the most amount of energy and the least amount of damage done to us. They bring in a Dunsparce, which is a little bit scary, but I should be able to save my Corsola here. Yeah, we actually swap it into Cradily. We don't really have to respect anything this Dunsparce has. I kind of want to save my shields for Torterra, because Torterra is definitely the scarier Pokemon. Even though they're going to be Sand Tombing us to hell here, we just have to shield now. We're getting a little bit low. Okay, they actually full send, which is great. But yeah, we're getting a little bit low on HP on all of our Pokemon, so we don't want to be taking unnecessary risks with hits. Maybe this opponent is running Frenzy Plant Stone Edge, which is definitely a strange move set, but I guess you have to sacrifice one of them, right? They outpace us to the Frenzy Plant. I don't really want to shield there, so I'm just going to bring in my Corsola to put in some fast move pressure. We throw this Wrap, which should win us the game whether they shield it or not. And unfortunately, the game just completely crashes on me. I turn on my Wi-Fi, turn it off, turn off my mobile, turn it off, and nothing really works out. So unfortunately, this does count as a loss on the rewards, and I believe it counts as a tie in terms of elo. So not a super bad thing, but it's still pretty annoying to have to deal with that, right? On to the next lead, we see a Eupfus lead. So this should be a pretty decent lead for us. I'm going to throw this Aqua Tail. I should be able to tank a move regardless of what it is and get to another Aqua Tail, but my opponent swaps it to a Furret. It's a little bit scary, right? I actually bank an Aqua Tail, which was definitely a mistake because now this matchup is going to be a little difficult for my Cradily to pick up. But thankfully, we don't really need switch advantage against that Eupfus, right? Eupfus has a little of trouble against Corsola, and especially now that it's at half HP and it only has 1 move, it's not really going to be able to put in too much work. But yeah, so you can see we're kind of losing this matchup against this Furret. They actually snipe us with an Ape. I should have thrown just a Grass Knot there regardless, but yeah, they snipe us with Ape. But we do have Corsola for this, so we can tank the first Rage Fist, we can do 3 Astonishes and knock them out. 1, 2, 3, right before they get the next Rage Fist. If they want to shield here, be my guest, but I am shields up, so I'm not really worrying too much about this. They do let that go, they bring in the Eupfus, they throw energy. Once again, I don't really need my health here. On the Corsola, I resist the fast moves with DRAGONAIR, so at this point, I can just wrap and farm them all the way down. My opponent realizes that, and that's a GG. On to the next battle here, we got a Corsola in the lead. This one's a little bit tricky. Depending on the IVs on the opponent's Corsola, you can kind of 2-shot with Aqua Tail, right? So there must be a break point that you can get with DRAGONAIR onto Corsola. Make sure you look that up. Maybe having an attack-weighted Shadow DRAGONAIR might be the play for this meta. But yeah, the Corsola does throw energy here. I'm thinking a little bit if I want to make a catch or not, but it looks like we could just severely outpace them to the 3rd one here. So if they shield this, then we almost have another Aqua Tail ready. And they know that, so they actually swap into Gastro. Very smart play by my opponent there, but yeah, I really wish I wouldn't have thrown that Aqua Tail because, I mean, we one-shot with Grass Knot, right? So it doesn't really matter. But we're going to tank this Water Pulse. This is going to do quite a bit of damage to us. We should be able to overfarm a little bit here. And This should knock out. I doubt my opponent's going to shield at this point. Gastrodon has done plenty of work, and it's in a bad matchup. So they have a Cradily in the back of their own, and this is getting a little bit tricky. I feel like we're still in a decent spot, but yeah, especially after this swap out, we can actually just force energy out of this Corsola. I think, though, I'm going to save this Rock Tomb and bring in my own Corsola, and this should practically seal the deal, right? My Dragonair should still be able to get to a move if need be, but just getting to 2 Nightshades here should seal the deal for us. They're never really going to acid farm us down. We can throw on good timing here, and we're 1 away from another Nightshade. Whether this lands or not, it does not really matter. So yeah, now that we land this and we have the Grass Knot on our own Cradily, we can just combo play them here. And yeah, that should be a good game. So GG's to my opponent. I'm sure they knew the combo play was coming, but to be fair, if they threw their energy into my Cradily, I could just farm them down with anything else. And yeah, that's a 3-wall flex. All right, we got a game against Pabloadas. Very, very scary lead for us. It's kind of ironic that I make all these teams and then I make a team that's insanely weak to the team I just make. Shadow Caesar lead, definitely a bad lead for us. I'm going to bring in my Corsola, and this is the first Shadow Caesar lead we played. So as you can see, I'm playing it pretty suboptimally here. Now that we no-shielded that Night Slash, this Caesar should be able to farm us all the way down here. I kind of have to bring in my DRAGONAIR here and tank these moves. Unfortunately, though, they got such a severe farm down and Dragon Breath does no damage that this Caesar is going to get to 2 Night Slashes. So I'm going to no-shield this Night Slash. Maybe my Dilly has some play in the back line. Let's see if we can make something happen. They have an Azumarill back there, so I'm going to bring in my Cradily. They have K-Wack come in. And Pabloadas is an insanely good battler. I mean, he's been in a lot of tournaments, so I'm really, really nervous. I should be able to no-shield this Bone Club. I'm just going to throw the Grass Knot here. I want to preserve some HP, and if they no-shield this, I would appreciate the knockout. But they do shield. Very smart play by my opponent there. We should be able to outpace here, though. And at this point, you know, I think I'm just going to, like, get up to a Grass Knot and actually swap into my DRAGONAIR, right? I have the wrap on DRAGONAIR. So if I can get this debuff off into this Asu, Asu still has to throw energy to knock us out, and we can get another wrap because we have a shield. So yeah, very good play there. Just getting the debuff before throwing the Grass Knot, I feel like that was really smart. So yeah, you kind of have to keep track of your debuffing moves and how you can use them in the end game, right? We see Marowak in the lead, a Shadow Marowak. My opponent swaps into Fortress. I should have swapped Corsola right away, but I'm a little bit scared. I mean, this is more than likely, if not definitely, the garbage team of Marowak, Fortress, Bastiodon. If you're really bad at this game, if you have 0 skill, and you want to run a team of Pokemon that just kind of RPSs most of the meta, run this team. Shadow Marowak lead. Fortress, safe swap, Bastiodon in the back. My opponent's going to bring in Marowak here. I'm going to throw 3 Astonishes and then my Nightshade. I really do not want to be sniped down. I want to land this energy if I can. My opponent should be doing 2 Mud Slaps and then throwing their move, but I'm just going to swap in Cradily here. If it is Bastiodon back there, I kind of want to start getting a head start on energy. My opponent is staying in here. I guess they're going to throw a Bone Club, and I do have to start shielding moves, right? It's not like Basti has great pacing, so if it is back there, which it is, of course it is, we can start getting these Grass Knots off. This is just going to be a very long and painful matchup. We're going to throw 4 and actually swap into our DRAGONAIR. Unfortunately, if our switch clocks were up sooner, I could have swapped sooner, because now this Bastiodon has quite the energy lead on us. So it looks like we're only going to get to 2 Aqua Tails against them, which is definitely not great, right? I throw 1 Aqua Tail, I throw the second here, and my opponent should be 1 away from their move at this point, which definitely puts us in a tricky position. So yeah, they actually get to their move right before our Aqua Tail. I'm going to bring in... What do I bring in here? I think I'm going to bring in Corsola, right? I want to get a little bit more chip damage. If that Marowak comes in, I don't want to take that fast move pressure on my Cradily. I'm going to swap into my Cradily now into this Bastiodon. And I'm hoping that these 2 Grass Knots can be enough. but as you can see, it's just quite not enough. Unfortunately, this Bastiodon is just gonna farm us all the way down and have a move ready for my Corsola. But yeah, very, very close game there. Even against a really trashy team, we made it insanely close. So I can definitely appreciate that. But yeah, I guess you can't win them all, right? On to the next battle, though. We got Chargebug in the lead, and this is really decent for us, right? I mean, we resist a fast move, we resist one of the charge moves, and they bring in Shadow Malamar. This matchup is a little bit tricky, but remember, we don't farm down the non-Shadow Malamar, but maybe with the Shadow, we can kind of one-shield farm all the way down, right? It's going to be close. It's going to be a DRE-dependent farm down. So can we get it? We actually do. Oh my god, I remember my heart was pounding then. They bring in Chargebug. I figure maybe they're a little bit weak to DRAGONAIR in the back, so I'm going to chip and try for another catch here. And we get that catch. Amazing. My opponent could have discharged there if they wanted to warrant for the catch, but they actually just full send the X-Scissor, which doesn't matter. And unfortunately for them, they have a Latios in the back. So yeah, that's going to be a GG to my opponent there. Very unfortunate lineup for them. I guess Corsola, once the other Pokemon was gone, once Malamar was gone, Corsola just had free reign on that team. But yeah, that's going to be a GG's. Once again, guys, this team really isn't for climbing or anything crazy like that. I really just wanted to try Shadow Dragonair. I kind of missed it. You know, I used to use it a lot back in the day, and it was really fun. I think it's still fun today, but it's more about pacing than it is about fast move pressure. And I would say that that definitely hurts it, because the pacing to non-stab Aqua Tail and non-stab Wrap, it just doesn't really do it for me, right? But anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's been a little while since the last video. I do not upload on weekends, so if you notice that, then that's probably why. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think. Let me hear your team recommendations. We're running some fun Chargebug on Twitch today, so if you want to come check that out, feel free. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to follow me on my socials. We have a Linktree tree at the bottom in the description below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.